In Perek Chavav, Mishnah Zion, a small Mishnah, but one of these really fundamental ones. Says the Mishnah, Kol mokem shein chesroin malacha machshava metamaton. Whenever there is no lack of a malacha, that means there is still no malacha yet to be done, then the machshava that the man has to create the kli is metame, the kli makes it into a kli which is mekabel tuma. However, I'll explain. Where there is still some malacha, and let's translate the word malacha as process, when there's still a process that has to be done, then ein machshava metamaton. You can have a machshava to say, right, I would like this kli to be finished, to be nigmar. It can't help. If you still actually got a physical process that has to be done to the kli, then the machshava cannot be enough to create a kli. And the only exception to this rule, says the Mishnah, is elah utzva, except for the utzva. Let's go through the Mishnah again. The Mishnah is a general Mishnah. There are in fact 3 separate cases we can identify to which this din applies. One is the basic rule. When I'm making a kli from scratch, I'm manufacturing a kli, at what stage is it called finished? So the Mishnah tells us if there's nothing more to be done, you've basically come to the end of the line, ein chesra malacha, then machshava metamaton, then your decision to stop the processes here is enough. Now this is a little bit difficult, because if you finished, then obviously you finished. So the Rash gives a list of those processes which may still yet be done, but they're still quite inconsequential. And therefore, if you decided not to do them, it doesn't matter, you've finished. Your machshava to say, right, I've done enough, that's metame the kli. There are other circumstances where this rule applies. For instance, in a case where you have already a kli, but the particular function the kli has now is not able to render the kli a kli which is able to be mekabel tumah. For instance, if it's a keli which is a tashmish of a behema, not mekabel tumah, your decision to change it to a tashmish odom makes it able to be mekabel tumah. If that decision needs a malacha, a process, in order to get to that tashmish odom, then you have to wait till you actually do that malacha. And another case is where you have a kli which is broken and you'd like to repair it. Again, the repair depends on how much you need to do to it. If you actually got to do a physical process of repair, then it cannot be repaired until you've done that physical process. And the Sefer the Mishnah tells us, it's the same thing. Whenever you have a physical process that has to be done, that ein machshava metamaton, your machshava alone cannot render the kli finished. And the only exception to this rule is utzva. Utzva is a big piece of leather which the people spread over a chariot to some sort of carpet or rug. And this type of rug, most people, often it is cut to shape. But it's, in some cases, I wouldn't say often, many cases, it's not cut to shape. People just take the piece of leather, plonk it on, don't bother cutting it to shape. Even though the word is mistoma, that the person will one day cut it, because it actually can be used in its state without cutting. Therefore, even though the cutting is a malacha and it's still yet to be done, because the keli is considered to be formed even in its uncut state, the piece of leather is mekabel tumah already now.